Lowe again. Many of our viewers will know our guest today as Mama Carlson from WKRP, but the cognoscenti among us will recall her from her many theater and nightclub successes. Please join us in welcoming the wonderful Carol Bruce. And now, here's your man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
In Great Neck, Long Island.
Guess what?
What?
That's part of a background, you know, the resume thing.
Right.
That got in accidentally. Believe it or not, I was never born in Great Neck.
Really?
But it sounded so good.
Where's Carol Bruce born then?
Born in Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Moved to the Bronx, Brooklyn.
That sounds
points
better.
East and west. But I love the Great Neck. I never attempted to change it.
Did you? That's funny.
I love it. You know,
Carol
power of
Bruce,
Great-
first singing job, you went to Montreal, Canada.
Yeah. I was a young lady, and I was just beginning to sing, and I was a band vocalist in the days of the big band era,
Right,
you know.
right.
That was my very first job, band vocalist with an unknown name, and spent 6 months there kind of getting comfortable, getting my feet wet in the business, and then my manager yanked me out of there to go on from there.
Looking back, Carol, at the beginning of your career, who encouraged you as a singer? As a band singer, so you didn't know you were going to become an actress.
Nobody.
No?
No, it's strange. I had very nice, ordinary, everyday, adorable, loving, wonderful parents. Middle-class family. They were always supportive of me because I was one of these little 5-year-old, the kind of kid you hate, you know, ready to show up. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I never had any feelings of, insecurity. Now it's different. Now I'm insecure. But then, when you asked about singing, believe it or not, I lived in Brooklyn at that time, and when at the tender age of about 13 or 14, I entered an amateur contest at a theater called the Brooklyn Fox Theater in Brooklyn.
Right.
And I won it under an assumed name because I didn't want my mother to hear in case I lost. They would have grabbed me off stage with a hook. You know, that's what they did then. And so I used the name Marcia Dawson, and I sang It's Just the Accent on Youth, and I won first prize, which was $25.
I love the story.
And my mother never knew it, and then I went back another time, did the same contest, used a different name, and this time I won a Mickey Mouse watch, and I let my mother know about it.
You still have that Mickey Mouse watch?
Are you kidding?
You should have kept it.
I know I should have kept it.
That's great. Then you got into show business.
But that's when it started, really. Through the
Montreal
vocalizing.
as a singer, and then Broadway. Come on.
Well, there was a little time in between
Where was
Montreal and Broadway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. I had the manager I had was so wonderful because I was the only person he managed, and he, you know, he lived and drank and ate Carol Bruce 24 hours a day.
Not Irving Sharnoff.
Quite as different than it is with any 10% agents today. God bless them. I love them and we need them.
Right.
But he was, you know, the be-all, the alter ego, the whole thing. And he had a plan that I should go from band singer to nightclubs, you know, single, from nightclubs into radio, radio into theater, theater into television, and that's kind of the way we did
That's what
it.
it did.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Worked in all the media.
So he really groomed you.
Yeah,
Actually,
he did, carefully.
Carefully.
Really did.
So from the first Broadway show, theater,
First theater for me experience started in Atlantic City, George White's Scandals, for those of you who
Were
may
you
have
in
ever
George
heard
White's
it. The very
Scandals?
last one, but I never came to New York with it.
Okay.
Didn't come to New York with it. The star was Ann Miller, Ella Logan, Ben Blue, all of those people. And we were at the Steel Pier in Atlantic City. My manager yanked me out because they did not give me the song that was promised to me at the time. So he yanked me out of that. Then I went into
Did Louisiana Purchase?
Not yet.
Really?
Here comes the second one. I love it, the kick in the head. It was called Nice Goin'. This was the musical remake of Sailor Beware. And we opened in Boston, and the star was Mary Martin. And she allowed me to have a wonderful song in that show. And it was called Would You Like a Panama? You Could Tell Your Troubles To. That was my song. And the show closed in Boston, so I never told my troubles to anybody
I like
in
what
New
you
York.
just said. Mary Martin made
She was so gracious.
Great.
She was so wonderful.
Stars.
This was a generous, lovely, wonderful lady. You know, Ethel Merman would not have done that, but I think Ethel was great.
Great, she
but
was.
she wouldn't have done that.
Best gypsy in the world.
Yeah, no
Best
question.
Mama Rose.
No
Mama
question.
Rose, the best.
And I played it once myself.
Yeah, did you really?
And not
Yeah.
bad, not too shabby, but she was
Mama
incredible.
Rose, wasn't she great? I love
And what a role, you know.
Screams and
So
yells.
finally I was to get to New York, the third time up at bat.
Louisiana.
And that happened through a party that I was at, given by a top, very wealthy man in Manhattan.
Right.
And attending the party that night was Buddy DeSilva and Irving Berlin. And Desi Arnaz accompanied me on bongos while I sang a song.
Which was it?
And I forget what the
okay.
hell I sang. I really don't remember that.
But you
I
got
was
the
so
role of
nervous.
Louisiana Purchase.
But that was that small cameo I had in that
Right.
show. Very small part, two great songs, and that started it.
And that started Carol Bruce.
That started.
Then you came to Hollywood, Carol.
And by the way, while I was in Louisiana Purchase, I hit the life cover.
You did.
Yeah.
The life
I wish
cover?
I'd have brought that to you. Yes.
That's okay.
It was quite a cover. 1940. It was called Summer Success.
To be on the life cover of 1940, that was great.
10 cents a copy. Are you ready?
Carol Bruce
Yeah.
arrived to California. They brought you out there.
Yeah.
They brought you here. See, that's the
Mattie
way to do
Fox
it.
of
See,
Universal
you-
saw me in New York
Right.
in the show and also doing a 12 midnight show at the Cafe Pierre, which was a
Right.
very chic
Ooh,
spot.
I know it very well.
And Mattie brought me out to Universal.
Uh-huh.
And I'll be very honest with you, after 3 very terrible pictures, the less we say about it, the better, but I'll answer any
No, you
questions.
did a good movie called
Oh,
Keep 'Em
please.
Flying with
Well,
Buddy
yes.
Bud
Abbott and
Costello.
Yeah. It was
Keep
one
'Em
of their
Flying.
biggest money makers. No, I felt I was pretty horrible, and I really did.
You didn't like yourself in films? Or
I
what?
feel very, very, when I discuss myself in films, I almost feel I must apologize. But I was so untutored. I really was a youngster, you know.
Uh-huh.
And when I came out, and the very first film the director was the man who had done Mutiny on the Bounty, was
Right.
Frank Lloyd. Wonderful man.
Great, yes.
But it never was a Mutiny on the Bounty. It was just mutiny.
What
I
was the
mean,
movie? It was playing.
It was called This Woman Is Mine.
Oh, who's in that?
And all male cast, Franchot Tone, John Carroll, Walter Brennan, Nigel Bruce, and Leo G. Carroll. Are you ready for the Carrolls and the Bruces in that?
yes.
And that was my first film with no song, but of course,
Straight acting.
isn't that Hollywood? You know,
Franchise.
take me out of a musical and put me into a 19th
is
century
Hollywood, isn't it?
melodrama.
That is
of
Hollywood,
course,
yeah.
par for the course.
Yeah, that is
But
Hollywood.
Franchot was wonderful
Was
to
he?
me. That was a gentleman.
I met his wife,
Of all
Jean
the
Wallace,
people, yeah,
several
well,
times. I've interviewed her. She was wonderful.
a-
Cornell Wilde. They were
He
just
was a lovely man.
yes.
Remained a friend for
Classy.
many years.
You're
Very classy. Very classy man.
So you made several other films.
No, just that. The first one. Second one was the Abbott and Costello,
Right.
Keep 'Em Flying.
How about the American
And I
Gigolo?
love the
No.
third one. I love because I love the title. It's why we left Hollywood. They put me in a little number called Behind the Eight Ball.
Right.
And once you're there, you might as well leave, honey.
I see. So you decided to leave.
Yeah, my manager yanked me out again. He said, that's it. You know, they don't know how to handle you. We'll go back to nightclubs where they love you. And fortunately, I was a singer, so I was able to go back and play the Persian Room and the Waldorf and all of that kind of thing.
You did all those great rooms.
Yeah, right across the country. Those were, the great days for the
Hildegard type
hotel
of things.
rooms.
All the
Mhm.
Hildegard.
Yeah, I followed Hildy many times at the Persian Room of the Plaza.
Then tell me about the Ziegfeld Follies. Didn't you do that?
No.
The Ziegfeld Follies?
No,
Showboat. Tell me about
Oh,
Showboat.
Showboat.
You played Julie in Showboat.
Yeah,
The revival of it.
46 revival. That was the first revival of the famous Showboat. I played the role Helen Morgan had created originally, and
Oh, that was at the Ziegfeld Follies Theater.
Ziegfeld
Theater. That's right.
The
Go ahead.
Ziegfeld
Yeah,
Theater.
right.
Billy Rose was running it at the time.
What a great guy he was.
And
wasn't
yes, he was.
But
I
tell me
got to
about
know him
Billy
well.
Rose a little. Just
An incredible character and a wonderful friend to me. He was a dear man, I guess possibly a very tough guy to a lot of people. But this was kind of genius proportion mentality, really.
Right, right.
You must have heard or something about his autobiography or whatever.
Yes.
That he became the greatest stenographer, so to speak, male steno,
Right.
that he could type I don't know how much and take
Right.
dictation, all of that. And here's this man, self-made man, who became a mega bucks millionaire.
Absolutely.
And bright.
And new talent.
Bright man.
New talent.
Yeah. And
New.
he had an apartment upstairs of the Ziegfeld Theater where he used to watch me every night, climbing up on the piano to sing my bill. And that was an experience I will never forget. I named my daughter Julie.
Your daughter's name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did you get married?
1945.
And what show were you in at that time?
Businessman. I was in a nightclub, the Radisson Hotel in Minneapolis.
And you met your husband?
I was singing. He was at the ringside on a Monday night.
Right.
Tuesday night, he was introduced to me. Wednesday night, he proposed. We were married on Sunday.
You do
at
things
the end
fast.
of the week. Oh, listen. Go for broke.
Bloomer Girl. Tell me about Bloomer Girl.
That was fun. Let's say, simply because it wasn't New York. I had a wonderful time doing it. And I did it up in Connecticut, and I did it down in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, you do a lot of
where
theater.
I did a lot of the
Theaters, summer
stock,
theaters,
yeah,
stocks,
a lot of
and all-
it.
yeah,
Well,
I
that
know.
was the only place occasionally I would get a chance to do a straight role, drama, which
right.
I loved so much. But I didn't
Lady
have
in the
to
Dark.
sing.
Lady in the Dark.
Lady in the Dark was a tremendous role. I did that at the Ann Arbor Drama Festival.
Right.
I had a chance also
I read
to
your
do-
reviews on that, of your reviews.
They were good. They really were. They were good.
Tell me about Annie Get Your Gun. Annie Get Your Gun.
I did Annie, Showboat, and Bloomer Girl, all in Dallas, Texas. That was for the Dallas Starlight Operetta,
Right,
they called
right,
it.
right.
And they did magnificent productions, really wonderful. Annie, I had a ball doing. We were then outdoors. This is before they went inside to an auditorium. And if you were rained out before the end of the first act, everybody got their money back. And this particular night, the rain started, but it didn't start to the beginning of the second act, so they didn't cancel. Now, everybody down there, God bless them, put the umbrellas up. They would nobody would leave. I came on stage singing, and I got an umbrella from off stage and came on singing, I got the sun in the morning and the rain at night, da-da-da-da. And we were pouring rain at that. They all sat there.
Show must go on.
Show must
right,
go on.
darling?
It's stupid, but fun.
Tell Joey. Is that your favorite show?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You've done it. I've seen you do it.
I did it a lot.
You did it, and I've seen you do it
I
several
was
times.
able to start it in New York, where I inherited the role from Vivian Siegel, who originated it when I was still in my first show on Broadway.
Right.
When she did it, Gene Kelly was the first Joey, and of course he was magnificent.
Right.
Van Johnson was in the chorus of that show.
At that show, that's right.
Yeah.
Did he have
Now
his
they-
red socks on?
Who knows? Then they went out to Hollywood, of course. But as I say, I inherited the role from Vivian in New York. I had a couple of weeks doing it, then traveled across America on tour with it for a year. Then came back to New York, and Jack Hilton, the London producer, happened to be in Sardi's one night, saw me, and asked me if I would like to do Joey in London.
Right.
And I looked at him and I said, is the Pope Catholic? You know, come
You
on.
certainly did.
And
you were
I
there a
did.
long time.
A year. We ran a year.
Yeah, but you did the Palladium also while you were there.
I did
did
a special night
with-
of 100 stars, it was
with-
called, at the London Palladium. And Larry and Viv were there. Forgive me for
Guess who was
'cause I
there
love
also?
the Larry and
you
Viv.
worked with Noel Cowell.
No.
Tell me about
This,
Noel.
this man, first of all, I have a photo of him
I love him.
congratulating me on my opening of Pal Joey, you see. He
Right.
was at that opening. This man was so beautiful and so dear and so classy and so funny and so talented.
He's
I
a
mean,
razor's edge all
so
over. It's
talented.
Clifton Webbish.
God, yes.
Isn't he?
But what a talent, you know.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore
No,
today. We're
I mean,
lacking
directing,
it.
writing, acting, singing, cafes, you name it.
Yes, we do.
It was so exciting.
You know what it's called? Style.
Oh, yeah.
We are lacked of style in this country.
Oh, but this
the
was
world
great
lacked of style. They wear
style.
jeans.
Loved it, loved
Everyone's
it.
wearing jeans and
Yeah,
torn.
yeah,
That's their style. Baseball caps backwards.
Yeah,
They
I know.
don't have. They're monkey see, monkey do.
I miss
They
it.
follow it.
I
They
miss
don't
it.
have individuality.
Yeah. Yeah, the courage of their convictions. They don't have to follow the pack.
Isn't that amazing? What's happening with our
Do you
world
know
today?
what bothered me a lot in the past few years? It's changing a little bit. The women, leading star ladies, movies, TV,
Right, of
whatever.
course.
Those particular ones who happen to be blessed with gorgeous hair, you know, tresses, beautiful, long, shoulder length.
Yes.
They were. There was a time when they were shiny. They'd been shampooed.
Beautiful,
All of a
of
sudden, Every one of them decided they had to have some kind of a kinky perm
hair
look,
perm
right?
look, absolutely.
No shine to the hair.
None at all.
Looked like it was
They
done
look
with an
alike.
egg beater, and every one of them looked like they came through with a cookie cutter.
Monkey see,
And
monkey
that
do,
really,
darling.
That really, really irritated me. You know, I would sit in my home in the living room
What
looking at
irritates
that
me
and
is the
say,
baseball caps backwards, darling.
Well, I can
Anyway,
live with that.
Carol,
Go.
Carol,
Yeah.
opening night in London.
That
Pell
was
Joey in the
unbelievable.
audience.
Unbelievable. London audiences were unbelievable. The gallery there, when I finished doing Bewitched, they stamp, and they
Yes.
applaud and they howl. They say one more time because they had any number of verses.
Yes.
Now the Lord Chamberlain had cut out the best, the blue, they considered the blue
Right.
verses,
Of course.
because there were many for Bewitched, you see, and cut out one of my very favorites with marvelous lines, nothing that one could not say on camera.
Of course, of
you
course.
know. But when they did cut them out, I was only able to do what I was permitted to do, okay? Closing night in London, all the same people came back to see you. Closing night, I was determined to do all the so-called blue verses.
But blue material in London is risque.
They adored
blue
it
material in
then. They
London,
just
of course.
didn't let me. And
Yeah.
that night, they all screamed and hollered, and they said, "Do those blue songs," you know. And
I
I
love it, Carol.
started, and our conductor was in the pit, and he's looking. He had no idea what was coming because they knew I had many
Right, parodies.
reprises of
Reprises,
it.
yes.
And so now I started, "I've slipped again, I've tripped again, my chastity belt is unzipped again," and the house fell down.
I love it. That's lovely. They celebrated your birthday recent, your 70th
Yeah.
birthday. Oh, Carol
Yeah.
Bruce, how does it feel? I mean, you probably feel just the same as you did when you were 20.
I do.
Am I right?
I do.
Because you look wonderful.
Inside, that's who I am. Outside,
Absolutely.
the calendar
That's-
told me something else, but
Absolutely,
you know, who
Carol.
cares?
70th birthday.
Yeah.
You had wonderful people.
It was a wonderful time.
And you got up and you did your singing act.
I just felt like doing my
my
number.
I want to show my audience at your birthday what you did. Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
charming.
It made me feel good.
It did?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to make my audience feel good, too.
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you. May we see it?
Beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Couldn't sleep and wouldn't sleep until I could sleep where I shouldn't sleep. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what of it? My mistake, I agree. He's a laugh, but I love it. Because the laughs are I'll sing to him each spring to him and worship the trousers that cling to him. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Bewitched. Yes, I was bewitched by Joey. He was quite a guy. A heel. Oh, but a very charming heel. But Joey had a roving eye. Quail, he called it. I didn't like that very much. So I turned to him one day and I said, "Joey, I have a temper and I want to say a few things before I lose it. When you talk, you are seeking words to get off your chest. But horizontally speaking, you're at your very best. Eyes at last, my eyes at last are cutting you down to your size at last. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. No
Just wonderful, darling. Just wonderful. Thank you so much. That must have been an exciting evening. I see tears in your eyes while you're performing.
Yeah.
It must have been a lovely
It's
audience.
a big lump in my throat because it were just 40 people, 40 of my
of
closest friends.
The
And they're not
conductor
all
there.
showbiz, you know.
Not all show.
The gentleman at the piano, that's a wonderful, wonderful gentleman because he was my very first coach in nightclubs in New York. We bumped into each other accidentally out here, and we were friends. He did work for me in 1938. He did the very first music arrangements I ever had. He was a coach. We found each other again, and then we decided to run over some music. He said, "Do you still sing?" I said, "Of course I do." So we did the Gardenia out here 3 times, just to let all my friends know that,
Here
yes.
in Los Angeles, the
yeah,
Gardenia, of
West
course.
Hollywood,
Yes.
right? And a small, intimate little place. We had a marvelous time. And Bernie, who's playing for me at my birthday party, Bernie Wayne, composer, conductor. Bernie wrote, "There she goes, Miss America."
Is that who wrote? Oh, that's
and
right.
he wrote Laughing on the Outside,
I
Crying
know
on the
Bernie.
Inside, and Blue Velvet, and I want to give him all the plugs because I adore him.
I know Bernie.
Talented man.
Was that your conductor?
He played for me, conducted for me, yes. And he was at my birthday party to share something special with me.
When you were in London, you recorded some songs. Tell me about that.
Yes, I recorded 3 numbers from Pal Joey. Now, over there, we did not do the album of the show. It's just they picked certain numbers. And it kind of saddened me because no one in this country was able to, you know, hear my version of Bewitched or
Of course.
whatever. Well, I just had a call from a friend the other night, and guess, voila, there she is. I've been released on CDs called Americans in London, just out. I believe there's 4 shows on this one CD, and Pal Joey is one of them. I do Bewitched, What is a Man, and the duet Take Him with a little English gal. So I'm thrilled. They're finally out here.
Carol, Broadway, looking back.
That's where it was all at.
it is, isn't it?
Not necessarily for anyone else.
Has it been hard for Carol
loved
Bruce in your career? Has it been hard for you?
Oh, I had
Had some hard knocks?
lots of heartaches, a lot of
Good memories?
what is marvelous memories. Wouldn't change it for nothing. I regret nothing, but I think I became an absolute past master at handling rejection. And that's one of the biggest things I tell young people who want to get in it. You better can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Have you ever turned down a part that you didn't like?
Have I ever had...
Turned down a part that you didn't like?
No, I don't
It's a show.
recall.
No?
I can't turn down something I didn't like to do in theater.
Right.
No, it seems everything I've done I really loved. I was very fortunate that way. But lots of times in between, there's been a lot of heartache, but a lot of wonderful, warm, you know...
How many children does Carol Bruce
I have 1 beautiful daughter
Right.
and 2 gorgeous grandsons who are both very musical and pursuing musical careers.
Oh, they are?
Yep. And they're
Good.
both college graduates. I want you to know they're not little ones. They're big ones.
Good.
They're wonderful. Wonderful.
What's your happiest memory in show business, Carol? You've met so many wonderful people.
You know, I feel so fortunate. I met so many wonderful people. I will tell you that I think my happiest year in the business was in London.
London?
Yeah,
was?
it was just the overall experience. Even when I had my daughter brought over by her nanny at that time to spend some time with me, where we had a weekend at different various charming old English inns, you know, mommy and daughter alone, and enjoying something of England. I fell in love with London. The theater audiences are incredible over there. I would say that year was my happiest memory, but I've had so many. Opening night of Showboat, opening night of Pal Joey, opening night of many things, closing nights, very sad. But we always know, as I said, you close one door, you open another. But I feel very lucky, really very
You're
fortunate.
lucky.
And, you know, I've even been fortunate out here.
Show business is a little luck, isn't
It's
it, Carol?
luck. And you know, people
Talent,
used to
but
say
luck.
to me, "What do you need?" Young people come up, "What does it take, Carol, you know, to make it?" I used to say glibly, "Talent, of course."
Of course.
Well, that's not
That's
necessarily
no.
true.
You gotta be right there at the right time.
You know, the first thing I say now is first you better have a cast iron gut, be at the right place in the right time. A little luck never hurt, and then you better have some talent
That's right.
to back it up
That's
if
right.
you want to survive. And I think I'm a survivor.
What was the biggest lesson you have learned, Carol Bruce? The biggest lesson that you have learned in life?
I'm grateful to my parents for the kind of whatever philosophy they may have passed on to me, even unknowingly, unwittingly, was never to take myself too seriously, and just remember, in everything, this too shall pass. Nothing is forever.
It's true. Is that Carol Bruce's philosophy?
Yeah, what it is just, the philosophy is one day at a time.
One day at a time.
That's
sounds
all
real
we've got.
good.
I'm involved in volunteer work that's sort of
You
along
do
those
volunteer
lines.
work? Yes.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I've been doing it for 14 years now. We're relating to alcohol and drug addiction.
Were you in alcohol?
I had a problem.
You
many
had a
years
problem?
ago. Yep.
Carol Bruce had a problem.
But it's okay.
But it's okay now.
I'm in my
One day-
18th year, honey.
18 years.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. So you tell the people out there if they do have a problem,
Believe me.
it works.
It works. It works. You want help? Get it.
Carol, you did a TV show. You're running. This is a running series for you.
Yeah.
Character in this
Yeah.
is Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was considered a recurring guest star. as we say, yeah.
Let's try it. I want to show this clip. Can we show it? I don't know if it's going to
because
work.
I love
but let's,
Mama's character. I
Mama's-
have fun
let's show
with
this
her.
clip. Let's try it and see if it works.
All right.
Miss Carlson, what a surprise.
I was at a board meeting of the bank and I thought I'd drop by. Where's Arthur?
He's sick.
He's on important business.
He's getting Nancy's car gassed and washed.
Feeling better now.
Really? How nice.
Oh, this is Miss Carlson. She's Arthur's mother. She just worries about him.
And who are you?
This is Miss Joanna Jordan. Yes, she's the head of Alexander and Pope Advertising Agency. She is about to place a big account here.
If we meet certain requirements.
Oh, I see. So it's important that Arthur got sick, felt better, and washed Nancy's car.
Very.
And what on earth are you doing?
I'm just trying to be of service to my boss, Ms. Braithwaite.
Mrs. Carlson, Nancy's been showing me around the station. I haven't had this much fun in ages.
How incredibly dull your life must be.
Mrs. Carlson, ooh, you got it going on.
Something's going on.
Miss Jordan, we weren't expecting you today.
I know. And isn't that a kick in the can?
Carol, that was great. So
Thank
you're
you.
constantly current running in this?
Yeah, when it's renewed and we come back.
You enjoy
again.
doing TV?
By the way, I want to say yes. Since I moved out here from New
Right.
York, it's 15 years ago. I can't believe it.
You've been in the...
Can't believe I've
You
been
like
out
the
here.
lifestyle?
I love it. Laid
Do you
back,
really?
relaxed. Yeah, I can live without New York, which I adored at the time. I still think I had the best years of it. You know, there are certain
Right.
times of your life. I had the best of New York, and I was happy and
You don't look back
psychologically.
then. You don't look back.
No.
You're looking
No
one day at a
time
time
to look
now.
back.
Never
The one thing I do like about looking
Right.
back in my head, memories. These nobody can take away from you. I love it, but I will not live in the past.
Carol Bruce,
Yeah.
writing a book.
No, everybody has asked me. They thought I should. I said, well,
Why
probably
not,
sell
Carol?
2.5 copies. Come
No,
on, who
Carol
cares?
Bruce. No. You've had an interesting
No,
life.
yes, many things have happened, and it's possible that maybe I will. I'm not ready yet.
You're not ready.
Some more things I want to do.
That's good.
There's a lot I wanna
like
do.
that. I like that, what you're saying. I like your philosophy of life. How do you
Look,
deal with
life-
stress? How do you deal with stress? We have so much stress in this
You
world.
want to
today.
know something?
How do you deal with
It's
it?
not easy. I'll tell you that. But
Turning the
these
news, especially.
past 18 years of sobriety, we have to go through it the hard way. And there's no pain, no gain. That's all. You have to go. I mean, I have learned to get through stress, and it's painful. But it feels so wonderful when you come out on the other end of the tunnel and you've managed to find a solution to something without the aid of chemicals. You know.
You smoke? You used to smoke?
I even quit that 2 years
quit
ago. I
that too.
cannot believe it.
I used to
50
see, I
years
saw
of
you
smoking.
smoking a few years ago.
50 years of smoking.
50 years of smoking.
And I
used
gave
to
it up.
carry up with an ashtray.
That's right.
You and Lana Turner with that
That is
ashtray.
right.
Poor Lana. I wish
No
she was
more.